welcome to the Power of Mom. This is Pow Pow, and we are ending our month of domestic violence awareness. And I just wanted to close up with a topic that I think relates to just um, everybody. You know, it's about, it's mostly about how to be conscientious um, of how outside things affect us, so that in time we our self-esteem doesn't get worn off to where we don't have any self-esteem. I I saw this article and it was called 20 things to stop letting others do to you or something, and it got me thinking. Um, Mostly because I know for a while I was having, as you know, when you go through domestic violence, you end up having a sense of insecurity of you being able to perceive if people are good or bad, because obviously you got in a relationship with somebody and you thought they were a good person, and then it turns out that they were a cuckoo or something. So a lot of people, yeah. And I was trying to look back and I was like, how in the world did I end up with this person that kind of warped up my point of view of the people around me, and of how that would make me validate his actions and be like, well, and make up excuses for him in my head for so long. And I ended up thinking, and I was kind of able to pinpoint, some of it, and um, I'll give you a little intro to that, and then I'll go into the 20 things that you need to stop letting people do to you, because I will explain to you why it's so important with my little summary. Um, how did I trace it back? It was mostly, yeah, I grew up with abuse in my home. Um, and then when I met my first boyfriend at the age of 18, we were together for 3 years, but he kind of saved me from an atmosphere that I needed to get out of. So I got into that. So that was, you know, it was better. And, he was very, very nice and lovely. Um, but he did get himself in debt, spoiling me like crazy. And then that brought me to feel, because 5 years down the line, we were married already for like 2 years and a half, and then I found out that, kind of like the life that we lived was a big lie. He didn't tell me that, we were in financial hardship. Um, he was trying to provide. So this big sense of guilt filled me, because I was like, I would have wished he would have told me, how things were. Like, it made me think, did he think I wasn't gonna like him because he wasn't spoiling me and taking me to Disneyland all the time? Or, it made me feel really guilty, so I became self-conscious about that. And then the next person I met after that, uh, he didn't really have a job. But I learned so much about life with that person. Just like not a lot about life. Well, it was more, I learned a lot about things that I wasn't exposed to, and it felt like an adventure. It was a different part of life that I never explored. So to me, that's how I felt enriched and stuff. So yeah, and I was independent, so I got because of my previous relationship, I kind of felt so weird having somebody take care of me because I felt so horrible that I was lied to, and it just really hurt. Um, and also my previous marriage, it got to the point to where I was trying to also make it work out. And I think another thing that brought my self-esteem down was towards the end when I was trying to make it work out. There was some sexual abuse. I was forced, and I remember it was horrible, and I just felt like crap and just helpless. Uh, that I felt like, oh well, we're in debt and we're in this position, and it really sucked. So that had, it was just so much going on. And then, in the relationship that I was, after my marriage, that was like for 3 years, it was just so uncommitted. And I think that also brought down my self-esteem, because for the longest time ever, I'm just kind of like, oh, I really like this guy, and blah blah blah, I care about them, blah blah blah. And um, it's you kind of start thinking, well, why don't they want to be in a relationship with me, but they care about me, blah blah blah. And you have like this huge loyalty towards them because you care about them. So when my husband came, or my new whatever, the father of my son came around, it's this guy that I meet at work. And first of all, at work, my managers are making us work together because they found out that he liked me, so they're like, oh. So they thought it was cute to hook us up, and I was like, okay, whatever. And he was like right away pushing, like, oh, a relationship. And I was like, oh, um, I tried to put some boundaries, because in a way he was kind of going really fast, talking about kids and stuff like that, which I kind of wasn't ready for. But I was in, I guess, the right vulnerable position. And I also didn't get along with my family. Well, with my mom. I got along with everybody else in my family, just not my mom. So it was another, you know, I don't know. He was like, oh, I had it hard growing up, and he always was looking for a family. And I felt like, wow, I can make his life better. I can, anything he needs, I'll make it. Like, he's been through so much. I will make it better for him because I love him. And okay, so that's how I got sucked into that. It's like, oh, he needs me. Oh, it was so many things that, and the thing is, before, I used to be like this badass girl, you know, um, independent, hilarious, funny as can be. And, all that stuff kind of brought me down. And, now that I've been out of that relationship, I've been working on myself and doing a lot of things by myself. I mean, I've injured my foot and still had to go to, take care of my son. And I used to live on a second floor, so that I used to have to go upstairs with my messed up foot and my little tiny son. And I've moved in a span of 2.5 years. I moved 12 times already, all by myself. And I finished school. Um, I'm working hard, and it's one of those things where, like, I've been showing myself how strong I am, and it's built me so much. I know I had, back in the day when I first got out of the relationship, I was like, I wish I could be who I used to be before. But, now that I see how far I've gone, I'm like, I love who I'm seeing myself turn into. Um, I I don't want to be who I used to be before, I want to be who I used to be, plus whatever I have right now, you know, like the confidence, because I have built a sense of self-worth and confidence from everything that I've been through, that it's, I don't know, like I really love who I am. And, you know, it's a blessing when you find people around you that let you just be yourself, and they embrace, and they, like, I'm such a goofy person, you know, and I like being funny. Like, me being funny, it feels so good to me. Like, just like, it feels like something that unstresses me. Like, when I can think of funny things, it's just my way of venting. You know, some people like to vent, you know, anger. Some people, that's how they deal, and which is not a good way. You know, my thing is humor, or, you know, it's my creative outlet. It's everything to me. And I I've, you know, and then when you meet someone special, and then they kind of add to, like, they let you be as crazy as you like. I've been pushing limits. Like, how crazy will you let me be? You know, that's, I feel amazing, and it makes me realize, you know what? I'm this amazing person. I can't believe I doubted, or I limited my awesomeness to fit the needs of somebody else, because either they're not comfortable in their skin, or it's a threat to them, or, you know, you shining through makes them insecure that you would stay with them, and then they jeopardize that, you know? So, you know, it's helped me see so much, and it's helped me gain a stronger sense of who I am, and it helps me see how I act and react to my own son, because, you know, I honestly want my son to be so confident. Like, I want him to be confident and feel good about himself, and be proud of the things that he is good at, and be able to accept the things that he's not good at, and work with that or around that, so that he can build a better future for himself, instead of letting the things that may not be his strongest suit hold him back. Because, you know, and I heard it the other day at my mom's house. You know, it's like, you say something and they're like, oh yeah, no, like, they're kind of like, no, I don't want to say negative Nancy's, but they're just pessimistic. And it's mediocre minds like that that kind of hold you back. And, you know, the best thing to do is take that, you know, out of your way. And here will come the 20 things that you should not let other people do to you. And here we go. So, number 1, it is stop letting people drag you into needless arguments. And, oh, I think you see those plenty of times on Facebook. So, I just, I think after a while, if I see somebody posting too many, like, just aggravating things, I just kind of end up just deleting them, because I'm just like, I don't want to be thinking negative, and because pessimist people like to spread their pessimism, and it sucks, and I don't want that. So I actually did delete somebody a few days ago, because he was driving me nuts. It was just a lot of hate and stuff, and I was just kind of like, I don't want to be reading that. Like, I'm pooping or peeing, mostly pooping, and I would rather read about awesome, awkward news about the the big shark, or some weird fact on, you know, I freaking love science, but the other word. You know, I would rather be doing that than reading, you know, just, yeah. And, oh, that leads to number 2. Stop letting people drown you with their negativity, and that's either on Facebook or your own family. If you're excited about something and you want to share it, go for it. And I know sometimes family will be like, oh, don't get too excited. Oh, that's dumb. Don't say anything until it happens. Ignore that. If you're excited about something, be excited, enjoy it, it feels good. And if it comes to disappoint you, you'll deal with that later. But shoot, like, feel good. There's nothing wrong with feeling good. You know, it is what it is. Next question. No, not next one. Question. Number 3. Stop letting people make you feel ashamed of your scars. And that one relates to everybody, but I wanted to bring that also into the domestic violence theme, because one of the things that I feel that I related to a lot, I want to say it barely took me, I barely stopped feeling, I don't want to say, actually, yeah, it was like, it's been a month, but since I've been apart from my ex-husband, I felt ashamed of what I went through, and I felt like a liability to anybody that had to hear my story, because, you know, you start making acquaintances and friends and like, oh, you know, they start asking me, oh, what's going on, or, you know, and I would feel so ashamed of making friends because I didn't want them to get that deep into a conversation to where they would feel like, oh, she's scarred, you know, she's damaged, you know, she's been through yucky. It's not, because before all this, I used to be like rainbows and unicorns and, oh, we're talking, and, you know, I was just full of rainbow flags. But now I feel like my light is shining through. Anyways, don't be ashamed of them, honestly. Now, you know, I think is after I made my video where I was open about the domestic violence just on video. Um, it gave me a sense of strength, kind of like I finally have this that happened. Um, it's I have it's like I finally have some sort of control over it as to how it affects me. Because I've always been a person that's very open, and, you know, anybody would ask me anything, and I would just be so open. Like, I don't like hiding anything. And this felt like a very dark secret, and it weighed me down, that when I, you know, was just open about it, and, you know, when people, you know, I've made it to where, you know, if somebody asks about it, I'll talk about it. If, you know, they have any questions, you know, like, stop feeling ashamed and gross and disgusted, because I used to feel dirty. You know, it happened, it is what it is, and I will not feel ashamed, because everything that I went through, I'm sorry, but there's nothing to be ashamed of, other than the fact that, I mean, not other than the fact, but it's, this whole instance has actually proven that I am strong as heck. I've had my son by myself since he was 2 months old. I've moved 12 times, you know, in the process of trying to keep things better for me and my son. I've worked my ass off being a full-time mom and going to school full-time. Now I'm, you know, working my butt off, and not only that, but I have to be making it to 3 appointments a week that I can't miss, and it's, you know, for an hour each, plus visitation every other week from 9 to 1. Like, I have this schedule, and I rarely have, you know, breathing space, you know, but I mean, I'm freaking and having to deal with a butt face, you know, that's, you know, just a butt face, you know, it's, there's nothing to be ashamed of. I'm freaking strong as heck. Okay. And then it says, stop listening to those who berate you for your honest mistakes. To grow strong and wise, you must have the courage to make mistakes. Allow yourself to be a beginner. No one starts off being excellent. And that's so true, because unless you try something, you will never know if you're going to be good at it. And I tried, you know, actually I accidentally rock climbed Mission Trails, and then I discovered that I liked hiking and stuff. And if I were to put myself in the limit, like, oh no, I never hiked. How am I gonna go all the way? You know, if you limit yourself, you will never make it. But if you are open to the possibilities, then those possibilities are more probable to happen. Number 5, stop letting others blind you from your truth. The only person you should try to be better than is the person you were yesterday. That is so true. I say for myself, you know, I don't even like comparing myself with any other people. You know, I think sometimes when you have family, like, oh yeah, fulanita, you know, so and so's daughter, you know, did this, is doing this and that, and blah 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 blah. And if you start comparing yourself with other people, everybody has different life circumstances. Everybody's at a different level in their life. You know, my mom, you know, because now I'm like, oh, you know, I really might consider, you know, government job or something like that. And she's like, I told you something long ago when your aunt got into it. Blah, blah, blah. At that time, I wasn't into it. I don't think it would have been something that interested me. Um, I was always very sheltered and taken care of. I think I needed that break of me being independent by myself, making mistakes, learning from them, you know, just becoming this person that is self-thinking instead of people telling her what to think. Um, that now that I have my son, I'm like, okay, I need something that will ensure my son, and I need to like it and be happy with it, because my son's stability is more important if I'm doing something, you know. But the thing is also is your mentality, because if you think your job is fun, then it will be fun. So, and I've been blessed that I have awesome people that I work with. I've had awesome bosses. I've only had one boss that was like a total butt face. And yes, I did not take a job to work with him after my externship because he was poo-poo. He treated people badly. Number 6, stop letting people bully you. And I'm sorry if this happens with your family. I know they can be butt faces, but trust me, don't let it bother you. I mean, I think bullying in my life made me a person that has um, a stronger sense of self-thinking. And what I mean with that is, you know, there's certain beliefs that I have of how I live my life, or just beliefs, and or just the way I like to dress. You know, sometimes I'm very, you know, hippie sometimes, you know. And I was like, why can't you just be normal? Or why can't you, you know, conform to this and that? And I think if it wasn't for me being bullied so much growing up, I wouldn't have the backbone and the skin to be like, you know, like not get psyched by people not being happy with my decisions, you know, being like, why, you know, blah blah blah, like, why, I don't know what to say. I'm not a negative thinker, so I don't know what to say negative. No, just, I don't know, like, oh, it's silly that you make YouTube videos. You know, there's a good one. You know, do you pay my bills? No. And even if they did, it's, you know, just let me be. You know, it's something I enjoy. I love, and I'm cool beans. I'm not hurting anything. My main theory is if you're not hurting anybody and you're doing something in good, then that's good. And I don't think I'm hurting anybody. And if I help somebody, that would be super awesome. Stop letting the same people. Oh, this is number 8. Oh, wait. I forgot number 7. Stop letting friends be untrue to you. And yeah, just pretty much surround yourself with friends that, you know, you might not message each other all the time, but just know somebody that really cares and loves you, that if that the kind of friends that they will be happy for you if you're doing better than them. That's how you know you have a good friend. If you have a friend and you're doing way better than them, and they're just kind of like negative Nancy's, then you know they're not good friends. So, rid of those. Number 8, stop letting the same people lie to you over and over again. Yeah. Don't make excuses for other people. It's gonna drag you down, and that's how you build your self-esteem downward. Not build. That's how you just trample your self-esteem, because you have so many disappointments. So don't let people disappoint you. It's just you deserve better than that. Stop letting people take advantage of you. And I think that happened in my previous relationship, and like the unhealthy ones. That's what usually happens, and that's because they're so used to you doing so much. It's not that they're used to you doing so much, but there's some people that they take a lot of things for granted. And there's nothing wrong with doing a lot of nice things for somebody. But if you notice that there's some people that are a little bit very much about themselves, where it's like you do things and they're like, gimme, 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 and if one day, you just don't do something and they're mad at you, or, they are not reciprocating the doing or the thinking, then you need to get rid of them, because they're just like a leech. Is that was it? They're one of those. So don't let people take advantage of you. It's try to. And the main thing is learn to be conscious of things that may not help you grow as a person. Next thing, stop letting people treat you like a backup plan. Yeah. If you know that you're not someone's priority, stop making them your priority. There's other things that you can be doing with your time. You can make YouTube videos. Number 11, stop letting the wrong people get between you and the right ones. So don't get so stuck on the kind of people that, on the people that they're like, me, 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 me. And then you're so focused on feeding their me, 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 that a person that wants to give you attention, and you just don't have time for them because you're dealing with the me, 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 me. So, if you see somebody that, they're just kind of like, not, like I said, not reciprocating stuff, and you see somebody that really cares about you, then, you should maybe not be a butt face and take care of the people that take care of you. Number 12, stop letting hateful people motivate you to hate them back. Big on DV, because some people just hate you, and then they get other people involved in their hate. But it's one thing that I've noticed, at least in my situation, because I've been dealing with, how to explain it? My ex-husband, right? For example, there was a time that he wanted to get back together. I said no. He got a little bit obsessive with that. I already told you guys in the other video. I got to the point where I was like, oh, I made up that I was seeing somebody else, and then he turned into like this person that was just like hated me with a passion. He went from somebody like, oh, I care about you, I want you and Joel to be okay, to somebody that just was bashing me like crazy, and then yeah, he started freaking me out even more. I was like, oh, this guy's out of control. He made me really worried. I went into just making sure boundaries were to be set really clear, because I don't think he he would see them too well when I was like, hey, like, boundary here. Like, I had to be like, hey, stop. Like, um, but I've never done anything like to hurt him or anything. But, the friends that he's had, even one that's his girlfriend now, it's like, she hates me with a passion. And it's one of those things where it's like, I don't even get it. Like, this woman doesn't even know me. She doesn't know what I went through. And it's funny because I remember his aunt telling me that, oh, you only know what he wants you to know. So don't say that you know him and defend him. And I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. He's such a good man. Right? And it's one of those things, you know, when I'm in therapy and stuff, and one of my therapists was like, oh, she's not a very likable person. And one thing I've told my therapist and the people in my group, it's like, honestly, yeah, I think she's kind of nuts, but at the same time, I think it's like you add nuts, and then um, you add a story where it's like, not a story, but like a reality that's not true, but it's like what I used to believe, what he used to tell me, and I'm like, well, I'll help you, I'll defend you, I'll be by your side, like, I'll give you your family that your family doesn't want to be, like, you become like this thing, like you're there to save them, right? And you become part of, if they're hateful towards somebody, like, you're like, well, you start excusing their behavior. And I feel, this other person, and then, it's just, and his, the hateful things, that his friends may say, or, his family or whatever, or whoever, it's kind of like, I've kind of learned to not let it affect me, I guess, or not let it, like, I know it's not okay, in a level of facts. If you were to compare facts, like if God were to lay down facts, I know that if they were to see the real true facts in front of God, like, they would know that there shouldn't be any hate towards me. Like, in general, there shouldn't be hate, but I'm saying, like, they wouldn't hate me. So I just see as, like, they're making their own little tornadoes out of their of his reality, and then they're already cuckoo, and then, it's so much going on in their world that, and I just, like I say, it's like, you know what, it really has nothing to do, like, I've come to realize it has nothing to do with me. And that's another thing that you need to see. Sometimes it's people that are hateful towards you, that's their own reality, and that's their own little tornado. And just because they live in this tornado and in a reality where they hate you, it doesn't mean that you have to live in a tormented way like that. There's nothing comes out of hate. Like, really, what are you hating? Unless somebody murders your somebody, like, yeah, I would hate somebody that murdered somebody. That's legit reason that's taking away a life, or when somebody violates somebody else, but it doesn't make sense. And if somebody hates you, just let it be. If they're talking bad about you, just let it be. If you guys happen to share people in common and people decide to believe other things, just let it be. Let it go, let it go. Turn away and slam the door. I said it wrong. Number 13, stop letting people leave grudges in your mind. Remember that the first to apologize is the bravest. The first to forgive is the strongest, and the first to move forward is the happiest always. And that's so true. And I know I keep on saying that is so true, but this is stuff that I've come to embrace. And it goes back to, like the people that have grudges and this and that. They want to live in the turmoil. They want to live in the toxicity of it all. Let it be. You let it go. You move forward and stuff. You're not gonna be stuck in it. You're enjoying your life. You've moved on, and I think that's the best thing you can do. And I know sometimes it's hard, but honestly, it's so much easier to let go and ignore all the negativity. It's so much easier. It's like trying to force yourself to be wearing a wire bra that's like broken and it's poking onto you and it's poking. Honestly, just take off your grudges bra. Just take it off and just be like, ooh, like when you sleep at night. Okay, next thing is stop letting people use your past stop letting people use your past to poison your present. And sometimes it's hard when you're around negative Nancy's. Sometimes family will like, well, remember you because of you. We went, just one of the biggest things is learn from your mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. I noticed that with my family too. It's, whenever I made a mistake or something, they're like, you see, I told you. Like, out of the million things that they say, one thing was right, and then they just kind of hold on to it. And like, you see, like, it's just, it goes back to self-control and self-realization and having control over mind over matter. Is that how you say it? Okay, yeah. 15. Stop letting people convince you that change is a bad thing. Wake up, world. We live in an era of information and change is inevitable. At work, there's always going to be change. There's always going to be new things, new technologies, improvements. And it's something that you have to deal with, and you might as well be comfortable with it. Or else you're just going to be a very unhappy person, because guess what? Evolution is real, and it happens in everything in life. So, it is what it is. Change is not bad. Change is pretty much a process of learning how to adjust to a different routine or to a different procedure. And honestly, it's good. It keeps your mind sharp. 16. Stop letting people steer you away from meaningful pursuits. Hello, YouTube. I am here. Like I said before, if you have big dreams, state them and go for it, because the worst that can happen is you're not going for it, and obviously nothing's going to happen. But hey, you set up a big goal and you go for it, whether you make it there or not, you will at least be in a different place than you were before if you didn't do anything. And I would rather know that I tried something instead of feeling like, oh, what if, I wonder how I would have been, Don't have regrets of not doing things. Let's see, next question. Stop letting people dump on your dreams. And that is the same thing when people give you negative feedback and they're like, oh no, but you're not smart enough, or oh no, it's so much work, and it's not realistic, and this and that. Incredible people don't how can I explain this? Okay, incredible people don't just happen like overnight. I mean, these are people, or it's not people that are cookie cutters shaped. These are people that take risks. These are people that had to go possibly through some struggles of rejection, But what makes incredible people incredible is the fact that they are survivors. And that's one thing. It's if you keep on dumping on your dreams, then you know what? They will never come true. You need to, and that's the biggest thing. You have to have faith in yourself. Once you start losing faith in yourself, that's the beginning of death. The death of your own persona. And why kill the most beautiful thing that God has given to you? You know, God gave you this thing where it's like, here, you have this body, and I've given you faith and hope. And, you know, I believe in you, and go do and explore so much so that when you're ready to go to heaven, you're going to have like all this amazingness and strength within you that you're going to know, a whole bunch of stuff. And you know that this is the right place for you. And you're going to rest happily with your family. So, yay, don't give up on yourself. Did I say 18? Stop letting naysayers talk you out of putting in the extra effort. That's another thing. Mediocre minds are always going to be like, no, that's not possible. That is so much work, and what about if it doesn't come true? If you didn't know, anything that is worth having has to be worth fighting for. Nothing in life comes like this. Not everything is like microwavable food. And even microwavable food has steps. And even those little tiny shortcuts causes cancer. So it's okay to make your life out of scratch and put in the extra effort of mixing the cake dough with your hand, the cake dough of possibilities and dreams and all these little tiny little freaking steps that it takes to be like this thing that you want to be, awesome. So make your own batter out of scratch and stir with your hand instead of using your cup of coffee and pouring cake powder and some water and what else? Put in the microwave to make instantaneous cake when it's obviously even way worse than anything because now you have cancer somewhere in the future. Number 19, stop letting people convince you of their quick fix schemes. Once again, stop putting your life in a microwave. Cancer! Just keep on working, keep on swimming, keep on swimming. Anything worth achieving takes time and dedicated effort, period. And keep on praying. Stop. Number 20. Last one. Number 20. Stop letting people tell you that you need more to be happy. There is a difference. Okay, because this is debatable. And well, not really debatable, but it can be taken several ways. But what it means is live in the now. Pretty much that means is live in the now, but still shoot for the future. Because there's a lot of people, once I have this car, I know I will be happy, and they're not really living happy now. And once, it's like if I were to be like, oh, once I am independent in my own little house by myself, I don't know, and I can afford a new car and this and that, then I know I'll be happy. So what about, it's going to probably take me a whole bunch of years, I don't know how much. So in the meantime, I'm not going to be happy. I live in a really tight budget, and, I am actually very happy with my son. We make our life happy. We have our little bathroom raves, in our bathroom, and we have musicals in our living room, and our neighbors probably hate us singing Frozen so much. We are very romantic, and freaking cute as heck. And we have very little, but we are very happy. And I feel like every step that I've been making for me to being super self-efficient and just like successful, every step that I try to make, I'm very happy because I'm just like I'm I'm doing it. I'm doing it, doing it, doing. I think that's a song. I don't know. But it's just be thankful of the little things in life. That it makes life. It gives you faith. It gives you. It gives you that. It's like gasoline, but like the expensive kind. And it's like every merit that you make, it's kind of like doing maintenance in your car, and it makes it all good and working and just car washing nice and stuff. Um, so yeah, make your goals for the future and make little goals to be working on it, but just be happy as to the everything that you do. Be proud of yourself. Like that's one of the biggest things to building yourself and not letting yourself fall into a position where you may lose your worth. You need to value yourself and be happy for the hard work that you do and be proud of your hard work. If you're working, be proud of the stuff you do. You know, if you're gonna work, efficiently, and if you were to go to, die and stuff, like at least you know that you did a good. If you're gonna love somebody, you're in a relationship, why would you have to ask that? Freaking love them and make them super happy and enjoy the effect that you have in making them happy. And people play all these games, and these gender roles and all this other stuff that is so insignificant that if you really think about it, it's like, what about if we just focused on being awesome together, or like I focus with my son just being awesome together. I just focus on like what I can do to build him up and make him happy and make, me successful and just us have a blast. And I'm looking that way because I'm looking at my son as I'm saying this. With your family, if I'm trying to make stuff up with my family, and it's like I love them and I just want to enjoy them. Like they're my family, and I want to enjoy my friends, and I want to enjoy the person and the people I care about and love. And there's so much out there to be thankful of. And I think one of the biggest things that helps you be thankful is you doing your best effort, whether it fails or it succeeds, because at least with me, I feel that if I tried my best and it didn't work out, I will not feel guilty. I will not feel guilty of walking away of a situation if I know that I tried my hardest. And whether it's a job, one job, the one the boss that didn't treat me good, I worked my ass off, and when it came down to it, I felt very confident and without guilt saying, yeah, I don't want to take the job. Thank you very much for the opportunity. Later. I didn't feel bad about it. I know my school tried to make me feel bad about it. And I said, no, like this man was very disrespectful. He treated his employees like hell, and I cannot see myself in a situation of working in circumstances like that. He was really rude. No wonder so many people quit. Like all the time. But yeah, just don't worry, be happy, and always push yourself to be more, and that will build so much confidence in yourself. And I would really love, for more people to feel good about themselves from their own merits, so that they can be like, screw whatever you think. I know I did my best, and I feel good about myself, and I am independent in my self-worth. Like, I know what I'm worth. Now I'm worth a whole bunch. And you know, a lot of people, you know, they lack some sort of confidence, and honestly, I just say, you know what? Take your risk. Go for it. I'm always recommending, you know, hey, you want to entertain yourself and feel like you're doing something, do YouTube. I honestly feel accomplished every time I do a video. Whether one person watches it or nobody watches it, or more people watch it, or people think it's stupid, I really don't care. I feel accomplished because I started a video, I had a subject, I ended it, I edited it, and it's online after so much work of compressing, and yeah, it's on the webpage. So yeah, that is it, you guys. I love you. Take care. My little one is getting a little bit annoyed that I got really excited and loud. So I have to call it a night. I love you. Thank you guys for sticking with me in this month of domestic violence. Next month is July, and my birthday is coming up July 18th. Let me cut my hair right here by myself. Anyways, yeah, so next month it's gonna be crazy fun. It's all gonna be about me. Because who loves me more than myself? Jesus. I love myself too. And yes, that's it. And I want to say I love you to my grandma because she's the best grandma in the whole entire world. And she's my everything. And I love her. And she's my bye. Take care. And remember, visit to the Power of Mom for more cool stuff and just so it's easier for you to find things, because also I will be making a parody song because I think I'm so hilarious and funny, and it might not be in the same YouTube channel. So if you go to the website to the Power of Mom, I will surprise you guys with a parody video probably in July.